guys, Remy here, and today I'm finally talking about my copy of the 50th anniversary edition of Abbey Road. So this is the deluxe version. It is not the one that comes with the 100-page hardcover book, sadly, because that is for the deluxe CD version. This is the vinyl version, and I'll show you what it looks like. So the first thing on here is a little booklet which goes through each track, each session track, and what was going on that day, and it's really interesting. I really wish we could have the book as well, but oh well. And obviously it has a foreword from Paul McCartney and Giles Martin as well, so that's really cool. And it's just so interesting to read this whilst you're listening to the album and the sessions. It's great. And they've even got the exact dates of the sessions and everything. It's just so cool. And then this doesn't come in any other edition, but I've put my 2009 version of Abbey Road in here just because it's I might as well keep all my Abbey Roads in one place. It just saves space, honestly, and I really do love my original version of Abbey Road. Sorry, my 2009 version of Abbey Road. Because honestly, there are some songs on here that I prefer how they're mixed on this album versus the new version, but I'll go into that in a second. But yeah, I've got my 2009 version here. Then I've got the 2019 mix right here. You can see there's a bit of a colour difference. I think this one's a little bit... I don't know, I think this one's got a bit more of a warmer tone to it, whereas this one's a little bit colder. Yeah, but yeah. I do like that, again, the 2019 version doesn't have Her Majesty on the back, like the 2009 version. And then we have the Sessions one, and it has both Sessions LPs in here. I kind of wish it was almost like a... Because there's two LPs, there's two discs in here. I kind of wish they were both put in separate jackets so that we could have another outtakes photo. But oh well. But yeah, it's cool to have another, what could have been basically if we went with a different album cover. And it has the Abbey Road without the woman walking past. But yeah, let's talk about the actual mix. So I like the majority of the new mixes. The ones I don't like are Come Together, a bit of I Want You She's So Heavy, and a bit of The End. Because basically, even though I do like what they did with the keyboards and Come Together, and the bass and the guitars, they feel a lot more alive in the new mix, don't get me wrong. There's a bit around I'd say 3.5 minutes in, when John is singing Come Together Right Now Over Me, and during the famous famous riff, I guess. In the original version of the song, there are these lovely guitar swells that kind of fade in, and they sound really cool. However, in the new mix, they don't really fade in as much, they kind of just happen, and they kind of sound a bit more abrupt. They're a bit louder, and honestly, they don't really swell in as much. They're a bit jarring, and in my ears, they sound a bit out of time, and I just can't. I really don't like it. I'm so used to how it originally sounds. I just don't like what they did. To me, it sounds like the guitar swells are a beat late, and I don't even know if that's my mind playing tricks on me, or it's they've actually done that, and it just doesn't sound quite right to me. With I Want You She's So Heavy, even though I love that they made John's voice louder during the verses, because he was kind of being drowned out by the guitar, in my opinion, before. And I do like that the organ is a bit louder. It's just so annoying that the organ drowns out the awesome backing vocals of heavy, 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 because that's my favourite bit of the song. And in the 2009 version and the original version, you can hear them perfectly. You can hear the awesome vocals of George, John and Paul like they sound great. However, in the new version, whilst the organ sounds awesome, it drowns out the backing vocals, and it's really, really annoying. Like and when it happens again, it's even louder, so like their vocals are like barely audible, and it's really annoying. And then I just don't like the stereo separation of the guitars in the end. Like it's weird, it sounds more old-fashioned than the original mix does because of like how much they're doing stereo separation. And there's bits where it's like it's going from one guitar motif that's playing on the left hand side to another motif playing on the right hand side, but you can still hear a bit of the previous motif suddenly switch around, and it feels like it's a bit of an audio mistake. It sounds like a mistake I would do in my music tech class. Like if you're trying to separate the three guitars from each other, but another one is like the end bit of one guitar bit is suddenly panning to the other side where the other guitar bit should be, it just doesn't sound quite right. I'm really sorry if I'm not making any sense. This is literally like the third time I've tried to explain it as clear as I can, but I guess you'll just have to hear it for yourself. However, I do like how the orchestration at the end feels a bit more grandiose and really cool. But yeah, apart from that, I'm really, really happy with all the other songs on the new mix. Like I feel like especially they did a really good job with Something and Here Comes the Sun, because George's vocals just sound so much more clear. It sounds like he's here singing at you, like right in front of you, and they just sound great. I like the drums and the piano sound a bit more alive in Oh Darling. I love that during You Never Give Me Your Money, that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that those vocals are a lot louder and sound really, really cool. There is a bit in that song where I don't know if I like it or not, where they centered Paul's vocals during the out of college, money spent. Like I used to hate how it sounded before, where it was like he was suddenly singing in your right ear and then slowly going to your left. But then I began to kind of like that effect. So now they're centered. I don't mind as much, but I'm kind of torn between the two versions. It's really, really hard because with Sgt. Pepper and the White Album, I hadn't really listened to the original mixes, because by the time I'd started listening to the Beatles and buying albums, the new versions were out, so I just bought the new ones. And I do prefer the 2017 version of Sgt. Pepper, and I really like the 2018 version of the White Album. It's just with the 2019 version of Abbey Road, because I'm so used to the 2009 remaster, I think I'm kind of torn, and I think I still prefer the 2009 remaster in some ways. So it's really hard for me to like let go and listen to the new ones. And I know it's like the old versions haven't gone anywhere, but I'm weird. I'm like, I can't have multiple versions of a song on my phone. I start to freak out. But anyway, I know this sounds really negative, but it's literally, I only have like a problem with three of the 17 songs on here. The rest of the mix sounds amazing, and I'm really, really happy with what they did. But the main reason why I ended up getting the new mix on vinyl is because I really wanted the sessions. The sessions sound great. I love the studio chatter in all the songs. They sound hilarious. It's great. I think my favourite one is during I Want You, She's So Heavy, where they are talking about the noise complaint that they just gotten because they're playing too loud. And then Paul's like, well, it's his fault for living in such a lousy district. It's so funny. I think my favourite sessions tracks are the Something studio demo, because it's honestly like, it's probably my favourite version of Something. I love George's vocals in it. I love how stripped down it is.
I don't want to leave now. You know I believe in how.
And his counter melody is like my favourite thing in the world. So sad that it didn't make it onto the released version of the album. I love the released version of Something so much, but the studio demo, which he recorded on his birthday, is just beautiful. It's also on Anthology. It just doesn't have the piano in it, which he recorded afterwards. Like, he overdubbed it with piano. I really love Take 36 of You Never Give Me Your Money, because the ending just sounds so cool. It's like, it's during like the outro bit of the song, and there's a bit of ad-lib of piano, which I really wish they kept in there. It's like dun, 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 dun. Like, I'm like, why didn't they use the piano a bit more? It would have been amazing. And Ringo's drumming goes from how it usually sounds in that song to, and I'm like, it just sounds even more epic than it does already. Again, I'm not making any sense. It's just Ringo's drumming is a bit different in this version than it is in the final take, and I really wish that they had used this take. I really, really wish that they did, but they didn't, so oh well. And oh my god, the Trident studio session of I Want You She's So Heavy. The outro is amazing. That organ, they should have kept that in. Honestly, like, even though the released version sounds really cool with the wind machine and the abrupt cut, the organ and the guitar just blows my mind. Like, I don't know who's playing it. I'm gonna guess it's George, but it's so much heavier. Like, if the released version is I Want You She's So Heavy, then the Trident session is I Want You She's So Heavier, because whoa, it's just incredible. I love it. It's awesome. And I love the studio demo of Come and Get It that Paul sings. It's just really cool. I really like that song. It's really grown on me. I love it so much. It's just great, honestly. And then the other sessions are really cool as well. Like, I like the version of Old Brown Shoe, because it's kind of a mix between the one you hear on Anthology and that one you hear as a single, because even though I prefer the instrumentation of the single release of Old Brown Shoe with like the backing vocals, with the drums, guitar, piano, George's vocals sound very distant, and they're supposed to sound very distant. Whereas in Anthology, it's just George and the piano, and his vocals are really clear. So in the 2019 Abbey Road version, you have all the cool instrumentation of the single, but with clear vocals from George. And so I think it's like a win-win. I really, really like it. I think it's Old Brown Shoe Take 2. Also, the long one sounds awesome. It's really interesting to hear it as it was going to be, where Her Majesty came after Mean Mr. Mustard and before Polythene Pam. And whilst I do like how it sounds, where it's like you got Mean Mr. Mustard and then it suddenly like cuts to like a small little ditty and then to something bigger, it's like a cool like break in the song. I do think it does sound better how we heard it when the album came out, with Mean Mr. Mustard going into Polythene Pam, because it just sounds so much cooler, because you have the end where you think, oh, this is it, this is the grand finale to the Beatles, and then you just have a little ditty from Paul, like, and then it just cuts, and then it's so abrupt, and it's like, that's it, that's done. It's like a little coda, and I love it. So if the end was like the final scene in a film, Her Majesty is like the after credits scene, and I love that. I love it. But it's so cool to hear the long one as it was originally supposed to be, and that the fact it is all one song, it being 17 minutes long, that's just awesome. And it's great. And it's really cool also hearing like, because it's an unfinished mix, it doesn't have all the vocals, but what it did have is like there was this like organ transition from You Never Give Me Your Money to Sun King, and whilst it sounds really cool, I do think the way they went with crickets and everything sounds a lot better in the final version. But yeah, so to make this very long video shorter, I like the majority of the new mix. I am eating burnt pizza, don't worry about it, my oven is insane. I like the majority of the new mix. There's just 3 songs where I prefer older versions of them, just my personal preference. And I've really loved the sessions, and I love the box set. The box set looks really cool. I don't think it's as good as the Sgt. Pepper and White Album mixes. However, it's pretty cool, and I'm really looking forward to the Let It Be 50th version, because I really want to know if they will re-release Let It Be Naked on vinyl, or will they ignore Let It Be Naked completely and just try and fix Let It Be all over again. We'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys!